Flex asset distribution, post-judgment modifications, and paternity actions. For expert representation in all aspects of divorce and family law, contact attorney Tina Lewert today at 561-544-6861 or visit www.lewertlaw.com. At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home to the foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we're actually back.
We are. That was quick.
All right.
Hey, I told you today's a really one of our fun shows to do because it's so easy, especially with this next show. This guy's got so much passion, and sometimes I just feel like just sitting back and just let it go, let him rip it off. And we've got Gil Bilu of Bilu and Bilu Law. They do foreclosure. You do real estate. You probably do
Bankruptcy.
some bankruptcy.
Do some bankruptcy. Not probably, definitely.
And how long have you been in practice?
I've been practicing now for 14 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell everybody if they want to watch the show, they can go to Gil's website because it's playing there live.
It's bilulaw.com. You can watch on the website. And Gil, I'm going to ask you to talk about your background, but first, Renee watches foreclosures. She looks.
Do you know?
Right.
And I was because I always look at real estate, and I saw there's so many foreclosures right now in Coral Springs.
Oh yeah. Well, part of that is before we get started, I gotta recognize today is a very important anniversary. Not my wedding anniversary, second only to that. Today's actually the 800th anniversary of the signing of the Magna Carta.
I thought that was true.
And if,
You had no
you know what the
clue.
Magna Carta
He has
is.
no idea. What is the
Most
Magna
people
Carta?
Basically, it is the foundation of all of your legal rights, and it really is important. As quoted as recently as 1974 by the California Supreme Court. So it's definitely something that if you don't know about it, shame on your history teacher. But it is an important day, and I couldn't let it go by not being recognized. Anybody who follows me on Twitter at GBilu saw that I've been posting about it all day. I'm very
See, if he
excited.
didn't say it, listen, if he didn't say it, I was going to say it. I knew.
I'm putting Gil on our Twitter starting today.
Oh, you're not there already?
I can't wait to see what you write, bro.
So, right, well, this is some interesting stuff, right? So
important.
it's interesting. This is what gives you your rights in court. And this is where that all started. And actually, one thing we've been running into that's very interesting lately, and this really kind of points to the need to be planning everything in as smart a way as possible. So we've had a lot of clients that have filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, discharged their debt on the mortgage in bankruptcy, and this is before a foreclosure is filed. Sometimes it's after. Sometimes it's right around the same time. And then they come in and they hire us to defend the case. And we've been telling them for years is that's great. Let's do it. Let's have fun. They go, well, didn't I give away my rights to the bank and to try to protect the house and try to fight the bank in court? And I give that up when I filed for bankruptcy. I said, well, right now there's nothing that says that you did. You saying your intention is to surrender it, but you don't have to. Well, it was brought to my attention by a judge recently that there have been some decisions out of the bankruptcy court in the Southern District of Florida, which is what covers the area that I primarily work in. It's more or less, I think, Martin County and south. And what some of the judges in the Southern District have said is that, look, if you said that you're surrendering your house in the bankruptcy, you no longer have the right to go and defend it in the state court. The Middle District of Florida says the opposite. The Middle District says, no, you're surrendering your interest to the trustee. If he abandons his interest in the property, you can do whatever you want with it. So we're actually, I've got an appeal that's hinging on this right now. So this is something that's really important. And, it's funny I brought up the Magna Carta, but this is about the jurisdiction of different courts over one another and what they can do. And, this all sounds complicated and blah, blah,
It
blah,
does.
until
So,
you're stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, because I would think that most people would try to do their foreclosure first, handle that, and then the bankruptcy. But unfortunately, if you lost your job or if you're in debt for a lot of money, you may not, and you're fighting to keep your house.
Right.
Well,
it's all about timing.
Yes.
We've had clients that we've advised to file their bankruptcy right before the trial, which will put off the trial for a little bit and gives us a competitive edge when we go and eventually try the case, because now I don't have to worry about negotiating for a waiver of deficiency
I was just
if
about
my
to say
client
that,
wants to settle
yeah.
the case. Right? I don't have to worry about it. Well, now all of a sudden this has become a much larger issue. And this is why it's important that you take a comprehensive approach, that you not just look at each piece and compartmentalize it, but that you actually sit down with a lawyer that covers everything, that does the bankruptcy, does the foreclosure,
Like
defense,
yourself.
does the loan modification, like
Yes.
me. Right? I'm here to promote myself, right? We have a little more. We haven't gotten any information about this up on our website yet, but there's a whole lot of information about bankruptcy and foreclosure on our website, www.bilulaw.com. If you're facing a foreclosure, you're thinking about bankruptcy, call us, set up an appointment for a free consultation, 954-596-0669. That's the number that you can reach us at. We are always happy to give you a free consultation, either in person or over the phone. I've actually done consultations by email. Whatever it is that we need to do, we'll find a way to get it done.
However it works.
I haven't Skyped one yet, but I'm more than willing to Skype or FaceTime one. It's no problem at all. I'm happy to do it.
I like
Okay,
that
so wait a second.
schedule on their website. It says day one, where I guess they are just falling behind their first payment. It's on your website. Day 16 to 30, 45 through 60. That's still up on your website, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Days 150 through 415, a notice of trustee sale is filed. So it kind of gives you the whole outlay over 415 days.
Yeah, well, we know the process. So we know what we're looking at. And, once that foreclosure suit is filed, really the numbers start to depend on a lot of different factors. And how we deal with the lawsuit from the beginning is going to determine a lot of that. Also, what you're doing and what your intentions are going to do a lot of it. I've had cases that have been set for trial that then all of a sudden we come in and the bank says, no, let's reschedule the trial. We were looking at a loss mitigation hold, which means they're looking at a loan modification or a short sale, something like that, and they're certainly willing to push things off a little bit. Now, the problem with that is that the courts aren't always happy to do that. You would think, wrongfully, sometimes, that when you have two sides agreeing to push off a sale, that the court will be like, oh, well, that's a great idea. Well, it doesn't always
For
happen
loan
that way.
modification you're talking about?
Well, for any reason, loan modification, short sale, whatever it is. Bankruptcy, they don't have a choice. Once the
Right.
bankruptcy's filed, that sale stops. And I want to get back to that in just a second. But what's really important to know is that the earlier in the process you start this, the better. The courts are a lot better about pushing off a trial or putting a case on an administrative hold before a trial. After a trial, if you've lost or if you've entered into a consent judgment, which we do for some of our clients when it's the right move, when we need the time, they're a lot more picky now about moving out those sales than they are about pushing off a trial or pushing the case out a little bit. So it's something to be wary of. It's something that you can't sleep on. The courts, unfortunately, lost funding as of this month for their foreclosure departments. What had happened was the foreclosure crisis has gotten so bad that the Florida Supreme Court allocated extra funds to the counties that needed it most, especially Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami, to set up special foreclosure divisions to help run these cases efficiently and really, hopefully, give homeowners their rights. Well, that funding's run out, and the counties are dealing with it in different ways, but they're getting shifted around to other divisions. They've gotten rid of a lot of the support staff. Might make judges a little less patient. So it's really something that you need to get in early. You need to start working with your attorney early if you're trying to save your house, if you're trying to defend your case. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to help you from day one. If you wait until it's too late, I've had clients I've had to send out of my office. I've had clients that said, like, there's nothing I can do for you at this point.
By not responding if they get a foreclosure or
Right.
a notification from the bank. I mean, you should, if you miss one payment, you should call your
Absolutely.
office. The first
And
payment.
even more importantly is people that try to do it on their own.
Don't.
Don't. I once heard.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, right. I think I quoted this on your show before. I had
Yes.
a judge in Palm Beach County. There's a defendant, a very complicated case. Sounded like a really interesting case, and they were representing themselves, and they were way over their heads. They turn to the judge and they say, "Judge, should I hire an attorney?" He says, "Look, I can't give you legal advice." He says, "But if you're going to go on representing yourself, I'm going to tell you it's a lot like doing your own dentistry. It's going to hurt, and you're not going to be happy with the result." And that's the truth. There's a reason I went to law school. If the guy in the corner shop says, "Oh, yeah, I handle your loan modification. I'm not an attorney, but we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it," that's when you should run away screaming. Go find an attorney. Generally, you think I'm kidding, but
No, I know
get
you're
clients
not.
like this all the time.
I know.
And, they've gone to these little corner shops who take their money and either don't do anything or do a terrible job with it. They get served the foreclosure paper. They give it to the guy. The guy says, "Don't worry. I'll take care of it." Doesn't take care of it. Next thing they know, their house is being sold. They come to hire me. I go to court, and I try to tell the judge, "Look, they hired this guy. They thought he was helping them." They go, "Well, did they hire an attorney?" I said, "No, they just hired some dude." And he goes, "Well, that was their mistake. There's not much I can do at this point." And it's a shame when I see people get caught in that situation. And the crazy thing about that is that most of these places charge more than an attorney would, because they're in there to scam you for the most part. They're in there to get as much money out of you as possible without giving you any of the results that you want.
Well, I have to just say something. The biggest misconception I think people have is if they foreclose on their house, they think that they could just walk away. So a lot of times people don't hire attorneys because they think they could just walk away and not owe any monies. That's it, walking away from the house. But that's not the case.
No, now we actually have banks going for deficiency judgments.
Right.
And what they're doing, I have one that's back from a 2009 case in Hillsborough County. These people thought they walked away. They were done with it. And they came in and hired me. The bank's seeking about $140,000. This is, I think we're 4 years after the sale occurred.
Is there a statute of limitation?
There is a statute of limitations. The bank applied for its deficiency judgment within that statute. So right now, that statute of limitations, also really important. That statute of limitations at this point is limited to 1 year from the sale of the property. Bank doesn't file for the deficiency judgment within that 1 year. It's waived. They can't do anything. A lot of times they'll wait till the last second to do it. But just because they apply to get it doesn't mean they have to execute on it right away. Once you get a judgment in Florida, test you guys. How long is a judgment good in Florida?
No.
Any idea? Give me a guess.
5 years?
Renee, you got one?
I would say 6 years.
20 years.
Oh my God,
20
that's
years.
crazy.
20 years that judgment is good, and if handled properly, it can also remain a lien on any other property you own for those 20 years. 20 years that judgment can
Wow,
follow
that's
you
a long
around.
time.
You think, I have people come in 3 years later think they're getting a life back together. 15 years later, this judgment has just been sitting there collecting interest. You're
That's
not going to have any
crazy.
idea. It is, but that's the way our framework is set up. Thank the Magna Carta for that, right? We'll bring it back around to the
That's
beginning.
right. That's why you have to have Gil handle everything
Right.
for you.
You know, I was thinking about this morning. If you're going to play LeBron James at night, wow, you really got to change your whole scheme. Can you imagine Gil, the lenders out there, when he goes up against them? It's like a LeBron. I mean, they know that they're not going to get away with anything.
All right. Well, it's funny enough. I actually had a case I'm negotiating right now. I have a client who bought it in an association sale, didn't realize the property still had a mortgage on it. She's been living in it. We've been fighting the case for her for a couple of years at this point, getting to the point of trial, and she's about ready to leave. And when you're not the borrower, it limits some of my defenses, but I still have some that I keep. So I said, look, my client's thinking about making a deal. What can you offer? This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little extra time. I'm looking for a little cash for keys. Now, I don't care about a waiver of deficiency. I don't represent the guy who was on the mortgage. I'm not asking for it. I think he might even file bankruptcy at some point. I don't know. I don't care. Not my problem.
Right.
Right? So, Now I get an email from the bank's attorney who I happen to know pretty well, and she's actually seen me in trial before and has complimented me. She's a nice girl. We get along very well. And so she's like, look, your client isn't the borrower on the note. The borrower on the note's been defaulted. You have no defenses. All right, back there. I'm like, come on now. Now, you of all people shouldn't underestimate me at trial. You've seen me.
You have a reputation.
I have a reputation for coming, look, for thinking outside the box, bringing it in from left field. Like, I don't know, can I use another cheesy cliche, right?
Right.
But, and so I wrote back to her, I said, look, you've seen me at trial. You know what I do. I'm not messing around. That I'm going for trial. I'm going at this full force. And that I will do everything I can do to make your life difficult and, either make you lose. Maybe this trial is going to get continued because there aren't enough judges to hear it. So I'm offering your client this kind of on a silver platter. So, all of a sudden I get an email back. All right, what are you looking for?
Of course, right, of course.
So we're still working on
So she didn't want to go up against you, basically, which is a good thing.
You know what? She explained the rest to her client, and for a couple $1,000 and 90 days of not taking possession, maybe not the end of the world to make a deal.
Right.
Also, from the bank's perspective, and I've had to explain this to the bank's attorneys before. Look, if you want the property back in broom swept condition, it might be worth paying a couple $1,000s so that somebody has the relocation money to get out. I've had clients, I literally had to explain to the bank. I said, look, we're not offering relocation money. I said, I understand that. I said, but now my client is going to have to sell things in the house in order to have the money to move out of the house. And
Which is a question I want to ask you, because when we come back from commercial break.
We're
Let's go to
a
commercial break, and I want to ask you a question.
And then I'll answer that question.
Perfect. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home to the foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
They don't.
And we're back. Okay. What are we're gonna talk?
Well, I want to ask Gil this because I see a lot of times when, you're looking at houses, especially like foreclosed houses, people sell off like their appliances. Are you allowed to do that? Like just sell off things in your house?
All right. So first, call us for free consultation, 954-596-0669. Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com. You can follow me on Twitter at gbilu. I tend to post up good answers to real estate questions. Probably about a dozen a week I've been putting up lately. I answer on avo.com, and I'm happy to post because I think I'm very entertaining when I write. Now, to answer your question, okay, so technically, that mortgage on your property secures not only the house, but any fixtures, anything attached to the property. So, my clients are like, oh, can I go and sell, my air conditioning unit? Technically, no. Your oven, no. Your sinks, no. Certain other things, there are questions about whether or not they're
like
fixtures.
But I've seen people empty out everything.
Oh, I've seen crazy things happen in houses that are being foreclosed. I saw one property where literally the copper pipes were ripped out of the wall.
You're kidding me. That's crazy.
God's honest. Coral Springs, Florida.
Richard Pryor moving out.
There you go. I mean, literally, you see things like this. So as an attorney, no, it is not legal for you to go and sell fixtures in the house. Microwave, maybe. Oven, maybe. Depends how it's connected. But for the most part, no, it's not legal to do it. People do it. I've had clients ask me about it, so I can't tell you to do it. I can't tell you that it's legal to do it. But the truth is that it does happen. And so, what these banks have come to realize in a lot of situations is that if somebody is going to have to leave the house, the banks would rather get it back in a saleable condition.
Yes.
I've read stories about people ripping cabinets out of the wall and throwing
I've
them in
seen
the
that
pool.
too. Yeah.
Right. And then you have, it's just a shame. And look, it was still your home. Like, I had one client that was considering pulling out his compressors, and he had somebody that would sell his AC compressor. He had 2-ton units. And he's like,
I guess
got
people
somebody to pay
feel
me
if they're
for 'em.
losing their house, they might as well get something out of it.
He wound up, in the end of it, he was just like, I just didn't feel right doing that. And, look, I understand it. But, if you are going to have to leave the house, if you can't afford it, if you're going to have to move, whatever the situation is, we work with the banks in that situation. We're not a one-size-fits-all. There are a lot of other really talented foreclosure attorneys out there. I'm not going to be someone who tells you I'm the only one. I'm not. There are a lot of other attorneys out there. I work with a lot of them, friends with a lot of them. So they would really hate it if I said I was the only good one, right? And a lot of these shops are one-size-fit-all. Either they'll go and stall while they're doing a loan modification or a short sale, and they have no intention of taking your case to trial. Or on the other set, they're so focused only on going to trial, they don't really care what your end goal is with the house. We try not to do that. What we try to do is to help our clients.
Individualize it.
This is why I was talking about this comprehensive approach.
Right.
We tried to work with you to get the best result. Now, that doesn't always mean the best result for me. That it doesn't always mean the result that pays me the most. It means the result that gets you what you want and what you need. So look, if you're going to be leaving the house, we'll try to work with the bank to get you a little cash for keys, to get you some extra time in the house if that's what you need. I've had people that have needed, I got to stay through the end of the school year. I'll work with the bank to try to get that done for you if it's possible. I have other people say, look, I just want to go for broke and fight. And hey, man, great. I love it. I love going to trial. There's no question about it.
Right.
Right. Look, I love going to trial. There's no question about it. It's exciting. It's fun. It's a thrill. I get to
You've been successful
show off
at
my
it.
skills.
That's
I've been
the reason.
Well, this
successful
is
at
what
it.
you specialize in.
Right. Well, you say that, but really I like to help people. And so if going to trial is going to help you the most, I'll go to trial for you.
Right.
I've had people that just have nothing left. So, it's either that or I'm going to be out on the streets. I need you to take my case to trial. And, God bless them. I love that they put that much faith in me. And I go into court and I do my best. And if I can get the result that we want, great. And, look, if the bank's going to file foreclosure again, they're going to come back to me again. We'll defend the case again. Hopefully we'll be in a better situation. We're able to correct it. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of line, especially now with what I was talking about with the bankruptcy. There's so many things that are working together between loss mitigation, bankruptcy, and the actual foreclosure case that you'd be a fool to have separate lawyers for all of them. You really should be at one place that can be kind of your in-house one-stop shop for your housing needs. And then, down the road when your credit's improved or maybe your spouse wasn't on the bankruptcy, come back to us for the closing. We're happy to help you with that as well. We do all of this stuff. I know real estate. I'm up to my elbows in dirt. No, literally, they call it. It's my nickname in the office. Like the dirt lawyer. I love it. If you have
That's
a
a
question,
compliment.
funny enough, in my office, it's a compliment because when there's an issue with title, you know what? I'm in it. I was before I got into foreclosure defense, I was doing title work. That was all I did. When a hard problem hit my hit the office, I was the one who generally had to go in and fix it. I did it for another attorney. I did it in the firm that I am now. My partner does it as well. And we've been able to parlay that and really been able to work it into some of our foreclosure defense work. So, of a somewhat common count you'll see in a mortgage foreclosure complaint is a count for reformation of the mortgage, where there was a mistake in the legal description of your property. They wrote 1/4 where they should have wrote 1/3. They wrote 23 degrees, which should have been 22 degrees. All these things go in. I will tell you a lot of litigators don't have the patience for it. They look at it, they go, whatever. There's obviously a mistake and that's it. I'm going, wait. I need to see evidence. You need to start bringing in surveys. You need to start bringing in surveyors. I want experts.
Yes,
I'm not letting something like that go. But unless you're well versed in the dirt aspect of it, in the way title passes, these are things that can get missed. And so if you've got something like that in your if you got served a foreclosure complaint and you see something beyond complaint to foreclosed mortgage, maybe, reestablishment of a lost note. But once you start getting into correct legal description, correct Scrivener's error, correct this, correct that, you need to go to somebody that doesn't only do trial work, that also does real estate transactions. Someone
I think
who
they
knows how
all
to
go
research-
hand in hand.
They should all go
Yes.
hand in hand. But no, I'll tell you, like a lot of really good attorneys that do foreclosure defense have a background in personal injury. And that's great because I've learned a lot from guys like that because they had some trial skills that I didn't have. And I picked up learning from them. And on the same token, they learned from me some of the real estate law. And what we've done is formed a community, and a lot of us work together. Hey, I got a question about this. This is really kind of more your bag than mine. What can you tell me about it? I'm like, hey, I got this evidentiary question. What can you tell me about it? We work together. So if you're facing it, you got served with that suit, you're about to go behind on payments, you're contemplating defaulting on your mortgage, call me, 954-596-0669. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be there to answer the phone and talk to you when you call, but I've got somebody there that'll schedule an appointment for you to come in and see me, to talk to me on the phone. We're here to help.
Free consultation.
Free consultations all the time. We also help people with land use and zoning. So if you're out there listening to this, you're going, well, this doesn't really affect me, but I've got a shopping center here and they're trying to make me take down my sign, something that we do as well. We are fully committed to helping our clients with all of their real estate needs. Foreclosure's been the hot topic lately.
And it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. It's slowing down a little bit. But we're here. That also means that there are more sales going on and there are more disputes about real estate. And you want a firm that can litigate all aspects of it, and that can work on the transactional aspects of all of it. And that's what we do. There's a lot of information on our website. I'm going to plug it in again. Is www.bilulaw.com. It's funny. You had a divorce attorney on here right before me. She's great. I've seen her before. I've listened to her here before. I think I've actually seen her in court. We actually offer a lot of help to people going through a divorce. And, I've been brought on as an additional attorney in divorce cases for mediation when, you're fighting about assets and you've got over-leveraged property or you've got property that's maybe kind of just there. We do that. We help our divorce clients as well. We come in on retainer. We sit through the mediation. We help them figure out what they're doing with the property.
We have the best. The best.
Perfect.
I try to
Okay.
be.
Hey, Gil, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
today.
Gil,
It's
for coming on.
Bilu Law. We will see you next Monday from 4 to 5 with more experts on Ask the Experts. Have a good week, everybody.
We're out.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of